Welcome back, everybody. Gordon Bennett TV here in Switzerland in St. Gallen. Regan Tetlow, Tomas Hora is in the studio. Hi, Thomas.
Good evening, Regan.
Exciting day.
Oh, great. I mean, game day, as somebody says, but I don't think it's the last day of game day.
We're in day 3 of flight. We've been flying 52 hours, 31 minutes, 25 seconds. Currently, third place, Swiss 1 with 1361 kilometers. Second place, France 2. They've already landed with 1410 kilometers. And right now in the lead, Swiss 2, 1458. New ones that have landed since our last show: France 3, Germany 1, Swiss 3, France 2 and USA 2. And still flying at the moment: Austria 2, Poland 1, France 1, Swiss 1 and 2 and Germany 2 and 3. France 1 still in flight. Let's check him out on video.
Hello, this is Christophe
and Vincent
from France 1. So we are flying for 45 hours now. We really enjoyed the fly. We missed the previous edition, so really happy to be on board from St. Gallen. We decide two fly options before the takeoff, and we canceled the first one a few hours ago due to bad weather and new bad weather, non-forecast weather on the initial track. So we are now on the backup strategy, but I won't tell you more. We are flying between fly level 190 and 180. And we will stay there for the next couple of hours. Okay, so say bye-bye. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's all getting very dramatic. Thomas, he won't tell us more.
No, he wants to keep the strategy a secret for himself. But let me guess, just guessing a little bit. I think they wanted to go for Crete.
Yeah,
I seriously think they wanted to go for Crete. That's the reason why they did the break and that they stayed behind and to swing in there into Crete. Unfortunately, there's some thunderstorms building up on the way to Greece, and I think that prevented them of taking that route down to Greece, and they had to change this strategy, and that's for what you need your team down there, and you need to rely on them. They can tell you, yes, you can do that. No, that's too risky. And so the strategy team probably adjusted the strategy together with the meteorologists. And then they consulted it with the pilots, and the pilots decided then, because they are the decision makers at the end, they decided, okay, let's skip Greece and let's go for Bulgaria.
In case you don't already know, Tomas Hora has been very well respected strategist and ground crew for many teams in the past, right?
Yes, I've done a couple of teams, a couple of Gordon Bennetts. I've flown them myself, and so I can kind of think what they are thinking.
And this year, being the deputy event director, I mean, given the choice, do you like to do all the different roles, or how does it work deciding whether you're going to be strategy or event director? I suppose it depends on the invites, right?
It first of all depends on the invites. The Swiss invited me to come here. It's a great chance to do so. I love to do it. And to be honest, to do something new and go out of your comfort zone is always great.
Yeah. Let's check out some of the live comments. Dawn Chase, good evening, Thomas and Regan. Exciting last few hours. Right, it certainly is. Hervey Nichols, Les, Salute, Les Chris, and of course, and George. Johnson, Samson always says hello. He always checks in. We've been trying to get Noah and Bert on the call. They've landed. We had them for a fraction of a second on Zoom, and then we lost them again. I mean, they landed. One of the teams that have already landed there with, I think I haven't got the figures, but it was about 1,200 or something like that. France 3, Swiss 3, USA 2, France 2. These are all the teams which have landed recently, and Germany 1 as well. Very special to you, Germany 1.
Yeah, Germany 1. That are my friends from my balloon club. I've trained them in flying gas balloons as well, and so they keep it on the safe side, which is great. I have high respect for them, that they rather are a little bit more conservative, but a great achievement of all these teams here. I mean, most of those teams we were just talking about were flying over 1,000 kilometers, and that's really a huge achievement.
Yeah, we checked in with Germany 1 with the call just a little bit earlier. Let's have a look. Benedict and Mateus, Germany 1. You've landed. How are you?
Great, perfectly fine. Amazing flight.
Where are you right now? Do you know exactly where you are?
Somewhere in the middle of Bulgaria, but I have no idea what the name of the village is.
Let's have a look at some stats. 1,257 kilometers, 2 days, 2 hours and 19 minutes approximately in flight. Well done, guys.
Thank you very much. For us, that is the second best we ever did on distance and on duration. So we are quite happy.
Brilliant. What about the golden sandbag?
Since we have some visitors with blue and white cars here, we are not sure if we are allowed to open it at the moment. So we keep it closed, but it is here.
Tell me
and
about...
Look, our crew is here as well already.
Oh, fantastic.
They were here 2 hours ago.
That's really, really good. Tell me about the landing then. It looks like quite an open space you've got there. What angle, where did you come in from? Where did you approach?
Well, we came from back there.
Over the village.
Basically behind the car, over the village.
Yeah.
We went quite fast, like 100 meters above ground. We had still 10 to 12 knots, but for landing it was super easy, like 3 to 4 knots maybe. So everything quite calm and perfect.
Everything okay with the police? Did they understand what was happening?
Yeah, we had some local guys here that were able to translate, but the only thing they wanted to see was our passport. So I think everything is fine.
Yeah. And have they left now? Have they gone away?
No, they're still standing by our side, but we're not allowed to film them.
Okay, good. Tell me about the race then. Talk me through it. Talk me through from the launch. How was the experience of the launch for you? It was a brilliant atmosphere.
It was really a great experience to take off from St. Gallen, and also the first hours into the flight were really great because we flew past my home region over the mountains in the evening. You could hear the cowbells and everything. It was just amazing. Yeah.
And throughout the night,
we've seen so many different landscapes. It's really in Hungary, everything was just flat with landing spaces all over the place. Here it was a little bit more tricky.
And how was it the conditions for you? Any extremes, heat and cold?
Well, no, cold wasn't that bad.
No.
Heat like today during midday when we were flying quite low to get out of the mountains here. It was super hot. Like we were actually standing there only in our underpants because it was just not doable with clothes on.
And in that first night, the thunderstorms, could you see the action in the sky? Could you see the lightning?
Yeah, we could see some stuff inside of the Alps, but I think it was exactly as forecasted. So for our flight route, everything was safe and as promised.
Yeah, massive flight for you guys. Congratulations once again. You must be really over the moon with your result.
Yeah, and Gerhard is because he's hoping there are some elks in Bulgaria.
Hello, Gerhard. Hey. Have you checked in on the tracking with the other teams? Have you got any idea what's happening with everybody else?
Yeah, we do, because we were working together with the other 2 German teams. We have one headquarter together, and both of the other teams keep flying. They were a little bit more north and had therefore the better conditions to do the third night. And so we kind of know what their plan is, and I expect that the plans of most of the other teams is quite the same, except France 1, who is doing something completely different. But we will see how that turns out in probably the next days.
What do you think France 1 is doing? Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Since we didn't check the weather for his route, I'm not quite sure, but I think he's trying to cross Bucharest on the north side to actually get into, I think it's called Constantia, where
the farthest distance is possible in
Romania.
In Romania or Bulgaria.
Where Kurt and Pascal landed 3 years ago. 3 years ago, yes. Yeah.
Do you have any predictions for the win? Who's going to get the furthest? Any idea? Do you want to talk about it or not?
I think it's really a gamble, because you have it's some kind of specialty for this race, really, that you have such a bunch of balloons doing the same route, and even if they were getting apart by the winds, they are coming back together now and all aiming for that one place. So it's really luck's gonna play its role in that thing, and so it's not really predictable, I think.
And Benedict, you've been joining in with the show. We've seen you watching Gordon Bennett TV a few times.
Yeah, we joined like 1 or 2 times when the internet was working all right, but it was most of the time only for 2 to 3 minutes maybe, because then the internet is it was gone again. But it was always a lot of fun just to post a message in the Hey from the Basket, because you get all the answers or the comments later on. But it was quite fun.
Do you want to give us a walk around your equipment? Show us a bit of what's going on. Obviously, you can't show us the blue and white car.
We can. So we can do it like well, I am not allowed to turn around. So we have those our basket. Most of you have seen it before. We have these two big red cases where we're now gonna put all our stuff in. We have as we always do before landing, we put everything aside. We can maybe move around like this. Yeah, like here you can see all our equipment was on the back side of the basket for the landing. So envelope is there. We are going to fold in a minute whenever we are done. What else do we have?
Your battery's okay with the power? All good with power?
Yeah.
Would have lasted for the third
for
night.
Tomorrow as well. Yeah.
And any stories from the chase team? Any adventures for them, or all safe and no problems?
Well, they were here like 3 hours ago, something like that, 3 to 4 hours ago, and we're having a chat with the police for like the last hour, probably.
Yeah.
So
I
don't know if there's any funny adventures. You can ask me yourself.
Yeah, let's chat. How you doing, guys?
Good.
Everything is well.
Tell me about your adventure. Tell me about your journey.
I mean, it was a lot of driving, nearly 2,000 kilometers we did. We had a nice evening yesterday in Belgrade. The balloons weren't allowed to fly over it, but we enjoyed the fireworks at midnight. And it was quite fun as every year. And we always try hard to be there when the balloon touched down. And I would say it fits. The timing fits. They did an amazing job.
Yeah. What a great road trip, guys. What an adventure. It's absolutely superb. Listen, thanks for joining us. I know you want to get everything packed away and get released by your visitors there. So congratulations, guys. We'll see you back here at the weekend, won't we?
And a huge thank you to our club, the Balloon Sportgruppe Stuttgart. Hello to all the members who are watching, and thanks to our club, we are able to use this wonderful balloon for this race. And thank you very much, guys.
Fantastic,
Thank you, guys.
Well done.
Good evening. Bye.
We'll see you. Bye. Thanks. Bye. Bye. Great to get the content from the guys, Thomas.
Yeah, you see how euphoric they are, how much fun they had. I mean, after 2 days of flight, having so much energy still inside, that means that the flight was really good.
Yeah. Let's check in with the questions and the comments. Oh, Leah from the launch.
Leah is there. Good.
The local MC for the night. She did a great job, didn't she?
Oh, she I found out later that she has never commentated anything with balloons, and she was so knowledgeable. It was great.
Yeah, she was really good. Good to have you watching the show, Leah. Thank you very much for joining us. Jarek Novek says, greetings from Poland. The Gordon Bennett TV shows are all fantastic.
Yes.
Any news from the Polish teams? Well, we've been trying to contact all the teams, of course, all day. We've got Christian, our researcher. He's doing that. He's trying to get everybody to get them through. But they're all having a very busy day today. We contact the ground crews and the headquarters and the guys in the baskets as well. All depends on whether they've got connection and signal, but as soon as we get content, we'll bring it through for you. We've got Leah says, how long does it take for the ground crew to pick them up? Well, it depends where they are, doesn't it? I mean, some of them are right there.
Yeah, so there's ground crews who really are at the landing and helping with the landing. I think in Lithuania it was the case, and also Austria. So that's a really good thing. But sometimes you land so remotely, you wait for 2 days until you get the chase crew. So if you land on an island somewhere and they need to come with the ferry, then you have 2 days of time for yourself.
Yeah. And Justina Jacquina, hello gentlemen, thank you for a good job and what a race, absolutely amazing, extremely exciting, fingers crossed for all the teams in the air. And Colin Wright, it looks as if one or two of the teams are heading southeast towards the Turkish border, so it's a shame that the border is closed. Well, that's the game, isn't it?
It's the game, and we sure hope that the border will be open one day. When the political situation will allow. But we are working with them. We will be very welcome, and I hope that will happen very soon.
And Joe Stratton says, what does it cost a team to fly? Well, there's many different parts of what could be cost, isn't there?
Yeah, so you cannot really answer that question because it depends. So, do you have to rent a balloon, or do you have your own balloon or a club's balloon? Do you have to rent a car? Do you have to fly in a chase crew? Do you have a volunteer strategy team, or do you pay for your strategy team? How far does it go? If you fly only some 400 or 500 kilometers, you have a different gas bill than if you fly 2,000 kilometers. Yeah. And if you land on an island and you need a ferry, then there's triples and quadruples as well. So you cannot say how much it costs. It really depends on the circumstances you're flying in.
And anything else here? Really interesting coverage, says Deborah Day. Dawn Chase says she's enjoying it and good topics for the show. Richard Parry says there. Richard Parry, how's the cloud cover looking in the landing area? Well, it's dark, isn't it? So we don't know, but we can check it out in a minute. Let's go to the tracking, Thomas. Let's get into the details of it. Let's get into the meat of what's happening here on the screen in the studio. And Thomas, take it away.
Yeah, so during the whole flight, the balloons were more or less in a so-called peloton. It was a little bit like in biking, all together. And then right when it's game day, then they split apart. And that was the case. The first one who split off was France. I'll talk about them later on. And then we have this pack here where there's a lot of balloons that have landed also. And in this pack, we have now different strategies. There's the strategy of France, who's flying, I think, fairly high. If you could go with the cursor on it to see France 2. Actually, France 2 has landed. Sorry, France 2 has landed. My mistake. But Germany 3 is at 5,000 meters. This is incredibly high. I mean, that's probably more or less the peak altitude they can reach. And he's trying to cover some ground and get the right direction. Because the thing is, the wind is turning more and more to the right. So currently, it's not really the speed which is deciding. It's the right direction. So you get in the most furthest point here. Swiss is tracking right. Swiss 2 is tracking right at the right point. A little bit also too much to the right. And also Swiss 1 is turning more and more to the right. And he's trying to mitigate it by really high altitudes as well. So we will see what is going on. Then we have Poland 1, who has, we know, some issues with radio. But they are probably now here in a holding pattern since they don't want to land at night. So they will wait for the day. Germany 2 is having a really nice track there. And there's still Austria 2, who's, I think, also in the holding pattern to see to land tomorrow in the morning, so that he's not too soon at the sea. This is Wutzi. And Swiss 2 has a huge advantage to all other competitors, because Swiss 2 did something what they probably have to do this year again, and he did it 3 years ago. And maybe we can have a picture of that. So Swiss 2, some 3 years ago.
Swiss 1.
Sorry, Swiss 1. Gottfrieden. Sorry, my mistake. So Swiss 1, 3 years ago, had to go or land also on the coast in Bulgaria in order to beat France 1, and he went out to the sea and then returned with the land wind again, or sea wind, back in on the beach. And this is a strategy he probably has to do this year as well, because if we take a look at the winds, the current winds which are there, you can see this is the ground winds. This here, where there is this dot, this is probably the furthest point you could fly to. Because down here, this is Turkey, so here we have the furthest point for this race. But in order to get there, if you come here like in some 3,000 or 4,000 meters and you descend, you will be then carried away by the ground wind towards the border here, because when you don't drop like a stone, but you descend, so you will be some 10 minutes or so in this wind, which is blowing from the northeast to the southwest. So in order to mitigate that, you have to fly out on the sea and then drop and then come in low and land from seaside on land in Bulgaria. And maybe we can take a look more on this little spot down here.
You spotted something a little bit early, did you, Thomas?
So this is I would say, a cup, a cape where they could land. And you see you have here some landing areas. And but if you really zoom in here, you can see here a shadow of a tower. And I don't know, you cannot see that really, but because that's a very windy region, I suppose that there is some windmill. And if there's one windmill, there's probably more windmills. So they will be coming here from the seaside. There's not a beach, it's more a cliff, you know, so they have to also have the right altitude in order to get there. Either they land before the rotors there or the windmills, or they have to go up and land behind. So it will be a very, very tricky landing, which I wouldn't like to do at day and not even at night.
Yeah, really. We just got a little bit of footage actually from Australia when they were packing up. We can have a look at that on the screen. It's just come through actually just now, Thomas. There we go, Australia packing away. That was yesterday afternoon, wasn't it?
Looks like it, and they have quite some helpers there. I mean, look how many people are working on that. That's great.
Yeah, it is. So, what are your predictions? And let's get back to the maps and the tracking. What do you think is going to happen tonight, there, Thomas?
That's a good question. You surprised me with that one, but I actually think Swiss 2 will find a wind going more to the east and going out. I think also Swiss 1 will try it, and Germany 3 and Germany 2, which is the blue dot here. Yeah. They are all going for it tonight, I think. And then you have Austria and Poland and France 1, who are now will try to do it during the day. From my point of view, currently France 1, I think, has the best chances on hitting this here because they have a lot of playground. You know, they if you trajectory this further, they will hit the coast somewhere north of Varna. And then they can play around in order to hit the coast right where they need to hit it. Yeah. So while here these teams, they have just one shot. They go out and they go in, and that must be the right thing. While France 1 would be able to play. The only thing what France 1 doesn't have, and some of the teams do have, France 1 probably doesn't have that much ballast, because if you look at it, they are currently at 5,400 meters, and that's quite an altitude. You are quite sold out with ballast at this altitude.
Wow. It's all exciting stuff, all to play for, isn't it? But before we go for the evening, should we have a look at yesterday's night glow? We had a night glow down on the launch field yesterday. Let's see if we've got. I think we have a little bit of footage queued up for that.
That's nice. And just for our spectators who are not balloonists, these are hot air balloons. There you see the flame, the gas balloons that are filled with hydrogen, and obviously they don't have a flame. These hot air balloons cannot fly for that long as a gas balloon can fly.
Yeah, this is down on the launch field of St. Gallen, where it feels like a long time ago. The Gordon Bennett, the 65th Coupe Aéronautique began 52 hours ago, 54 minutes. 16 seconds. Can you imagine being in one place in flight for that amount of time? 52 hours. It's just almost 53 hours coming up on it. It's hard to even imagine, Thomas.
Yeah, it's today we received also some footage from Wutzi Wagner. Unfortunately, it's in German, so we cannot use it here too much. But you can see after 3 days, there's no mess in the basket. It's completely cleaned up. I mean, it's really incredible. And they showed us also how they can lie in that basket and stuff like that. I think they feel, in the meantime, they feel comfortable in there. At least they made the impression.
Fantastic. Well, we're going into the third night of action for this 52, coming up on 53 minutes, 53 hours. Great explanation, Thomas, says Dawn. David says, how's it going with the Polish teams? That's what we've just been talking about with all the teams there. Mim Oliver, such an exciting competition, such wonderful sense of chivalry between the teams as well. Is it a sense of chivalry amongst the teams, or is it a bit of fighting behind the scenes?
I think during the first part of the flight, there's a lot of camaraderie.
Yes.
But now when
game on,
when it's going about decision, I think the communication between the teams is now shutting down completely, and everybody is going for his strategy and his how should I say, conviction that he will win.
Yeah.
Well, she.
Coming up on 53 hours. That's it for the evening show here from our hotel in St. Gallen. But we'll be back tomorrow morning. Gordon Bennett TV. We're giving you all the overnight action. Don't forget to follow it all on the YB Racing app on your mobile device. And of course on live.gordonbennett.aero as well to keep all the information that you want to see there. And the YouTube channel, Gordon Bennett TV. But from Tomas Hora and me, Regan Tetlow, we want to wish you a very good night. And we'll be back live here tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. We'll see you then.
Thank you. Bye-bye.